This is the Edge 50 Fusion and it has launched in India at 23,000 rupees, but with bank discounts, you can get it for 21k. Actually, the main highlight of this phone is definitely its cameras, but before I talk about that, let's just have a look at the rest of the phone. To begin with, this phone looks and feels very premium with this sleek design and vegan leather back. The in-hand feel is also very good and the phone is quite lightweight even though it packs a 5000 mAh battery. On the right, you get volume rockers, power button and a mic. At the top, there's a mic with Dolby Atmos branding, and on the bottom, you get a dual SIM slot, a mic, Type-C 2.0 port and speaker grill. The frame is plastic, there's no headphone jack and you don't get expandable storage option as well, but you do get IP68 rating that is still very rare in this segment. By the way, this is the marshmallow blue color, but there are two more options as well. You also get this color matching case that matches well with the curved screen. And speaking of the curves, let's talk about this stunning display. It's a 6.67-inch curved POLED panel with 144Hz refresh rate and 1200 nits of brightness in high brightness mode. We couldn't test the peak brightness though because the phone currently doesn't support HDR in YouTube or Netflix, but let's hope Moto rolls an update to fix this soon. Apart from that, the display is protected by Gorilla Glass 5 and with the smart water touch feature, you can use it even when the screen is wet or in rains. We have been seeing this feature in a lot of phones this year and it's indeed quite practical and useful. Lastly, the in-display fingerprint scanner is placed at the bottom and works well. I know you must be wondering about accidental touches because this is a curved display, but I am happy to report that I did not come across any such issue on this phone. And yeah, the multimedia experience on this phone could have been better with HDR, but other than that, it's quite good as the stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos support gets quite loud and doesn't crackle even at max volume. Now, if you're curious about haptics, I think it could have been better. On to the cameras now. The camera hardware on this phone is quite capable with a 50 megapixel Sony LYT700C sensor as the main camera with OIS, a 13 megapixel ultra-wide camera with autofocus and a 32 megapixel selfie camera. Before I get to the camera samples, I must tell you that this phone takes some very good photos and videos. All the cameras can shoot 4K 30fps videos and you can also switch lenses while recording. In daytime, the photos turn out very good with natural colors and good details, and the HDR is also on point even when the sunlight is harsh. The ultra-wide camera also takes some very good photos, but you do lose some details and there's slight color shift compared to the main camera. In nighttime camera samples, I usually prepare for the worst, but this phone has definitely surprised me. It takes some very good photos with good details and on-point color. In portraits, you get a very good bokeh, but the skin tones are beautified, which some people prefer. Lastly, when it comes to selfies, they have very good details with natural skin tone. The videos come out very well with no focus hunting issues and the stability is also quite well. By the way, you can find a Google Drive link with all the camera samples in the video description, so check it out, and while you're at it, subscribe. Let's talk about the performance now. The Edge 50 Fusion packs a Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 processor with up to 12GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 256GB of UFS 2.2 storage. By the way, this is the base variant. See, this isn't the most powerful processor and doesn't really stand out against the competition, but in benchmarks, the phone performs decent, be it in AnTuTu or Geekbench. In 3D Mark, the stability is quite good, and in CPU throttling as well, it doesn't go below 83% of its peak performance even after 60 minutes 100 threads test, which is quite good. One thing I noticed is that the phone doesn't heat up at all in any of the bench, and the maximum temperature that I saw was just 39 degrees. It could be because of the hypercrystal graphite cooling system that they have implemented on this phone, or probably because the processor is not the most demanding. Apart from the benchmarks, I also did some gaming on it. In BGMI, these are the game settings it support, and the gameplay was quite smooth at 60 FPS. In COD Mobile, again there's no high FPS support, but the gameplay was consistently smooth. In Genshin Impact, the phone supports highest plus 60 FPS, but we got an FPS of 40 to 44 and the gameplay was quite smooth, which is actually good for a phone under 25k. We also tried COD Warzone, but it was practically unplayable, and that's probably because the game is still not optimized. Lastly, in Grid Autosport, you don't get the graphics or performance mode option and the gameplay was stuck at 30 FPS. See, this phone is not meant for gaming, but it performs really well in day-to-day tasks. When it comes to the software update, this phone comes with Hello UI based on Android 14 and will get 3 years of OS updates and 4 years of security patches. And before you say it, we asked it and Moto has stated that they will give timely updates this time. In terms of UI, there are a few bloatwares that you can uninstall, and we also saw ads in their weather app, but other than that, it's quite clean. Hello UI also brings some new features such as the Moto Unplugged app, AI wallpapers, and even a customizable lock screen. The classic Moto gestures are still present along with Moto Ready for support with Windows laptop. The refreshed UI is very well optimized now with smooth animations, and the RAM management is also very good. In terms of battery, this phone packs a 5000 mAh battery with a 68 watt PD charger in the box. The battery life on this phone is insane. We got an SOT of 6.5 hours on medium usage with 30% battery still remaining. And the phone goes from 14 to 100% in just 50 minutes. This phone will easily last you a day even with heavy usage. Lastly, in terms of connectivity, you get Bluetooth 5.2, Wi-Fi 6, 15 5G bands and NFC, but the Type-C port is still USB 2.0. Overall, the Edge 50 Fusion is a very good phone. It brings a premium design with IP68 rating, clean software experience with very good software support, very good cameras and exceptionally good battery life. Of course, the performance is not the best, but it can handle everyday tasks quite easily. At 21,000, this phone does make sense. If you guys have any further questions about this phone, ask us in comments and we'll answer them. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.